Happy Tuesday, everyone. It is Tuesday, November 14th, and if you're here, you're watching my fourth and final Christmas card class in my series. This is Lori Bradley. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I want to talk to you today about the joy of Christmas or joy of Noel and Christmas classics. Let me get my laptop going here. All right. In front of me on my screen, you have, you're going to be able to see the items that my Card-Cierge Card Club members received in their monthly packet. If you haven't received your packet, if it's coming in the mail or I'm going to give it to you later this week, close your eyes, pretend like you haven't seen it. But I want everyone to see, when you're a member of my card club, what kind of items do you get? And the first thing that you would get is 8 cards. You get 4 different cards, 2 of each. You get the pieces for those. I'm not allowed to stamp things for you, but I can give you the pieces, and if there's certain die cuts, then I can die cut those for you. A whole roll of the real red and gold polka dotted ribbon, which is an online exclusive, not an exclusive. They got a whole roll of that to use on their projects, and then there's extra. A package of gold foil sheets, which is not the star of the show, but it definitely makes things a lot prettier. A half package of this specialty paper that matches the Joy of Christmas suite, and that is 4 different pieces. There's the music notes, the plaid, the wood grain, and also the gold with the holly berries, which is also very pretty. A half package of that, and then a half package of the Joy of Christmas designer series paper. And if you haven't seen that, let me show that to you as well. There's let me pull it all out. All right, it is poinsettias and pine boughs. It's very pretty. It's real red, cherry cobbler, and different shades of green, along with some muted wood grain, brown type colors. Shaded spruce, garden green, all work with this. Hey, Kathy, pretend like you haven't seen the cards today. I'm going to show some card club projects. Plaid, some more wood grain. This is more pecan pie, a smaller pattern of the holly berries and holly leaves, and then a softer muted brown music note. Just some leaves. This leaf could be used all year long, I think. I think it's not necessarily tied to Christmas. And this pattern that's real red and cherry cobbler also could be used for any type background. Another plaid, also very versatile. And smaller music notes. If you read music, that was definitely upside down. And then holly berries, which are real red and white, and then a green. So some of the papers can be used for both Christmas and everyday occasions. For Card Club, what I used was, my papers just fell off the bed behind me. I think I said last week that I've been banished to the back bedroom while our Christmas trees are up. Christmas is a big deal at our house, and we actually have 7 different Christmas trees in our house right now. And I made a mistake, and I forgot something back here, so we're going to pretend for just a minute that I have it. But the Joy of Christmas suite has 2 different bundles. There's the Christmas Classics, which has mostly the words, and then the dies that match. And I'm going to show you those dies in just a little bit. And the Joy of Noel, which has beautiful word cutouts for Noel, and then the holly berries and leaves with the pine boughs. So those are the 2 bundles that we used for Club this month. You're not required to buy the bundle for Card Club. If you have it at home, that's great. You can use what you have. And if you don't have it, then you can substitute something else that you have. Or you can even switch it up and do something completely different. But for the first 2 cards that I'm going to show you, or at least the first card, there's no stamping involved, which is kind of a nice kind of thing. I have already done a little bit of embossing for you. I'm so bummed that I did not bring my stamp back here. I brought the ink pad, but not the stamp. So maybe we will improvise. All right. Oh goodness, I got all crazy. All right, so this die, the gold foil die that I've done here, is from the Joy of Christmas, or the Christmas Classics, and it's for the sentiment. Excuse me. And it has the holly leaves and the pine boughs, and it all coordinates nicely. So I'm going to set that aside. It also, there's a sentiment piece that looks like this that fits perfectly in the middle of the die cut. I have already stamped that and embossed it with gold embossing powder with Deck the Halls. And so that's going to go there. And then I have a piece of the specialty paper that matches along with the shaded spruce card base. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold my cardstock, and I've scored it at, it's a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of paper. I have folded that in half, and then I've also scored it basically in half again. So I'm going to fold it back like this, and that's actually going to make a Z fold. And I think you can see it better if I do this. It's made into a Z. I saw this from another demonstrator named Sue Stampfield. You may have seen her videos, and I thought this was a great card. So it's folded like this, and I'm going to need to cut my designer series paper, and I've made a 4 by 5 piece of designer series paper. So I need to cut that in half. So I'm going to make 2 2.5 by 4 pieces of cardstock or designer series paper. And I'm going to glue that. The first piece I'm going to glue on the front of the Z. And of course my adhesive that I picked up is the one that's empty, so I need to refill that. Today in St. Louis it is 65 degrees, and tomorrow it is supposed to be 70. It is hard for me to really think about Christmas and shopping. I can decorate for Christmas at any point because I love having my trees up, and I love having the extra light in the house. It's just a certain feeling that I have that I love having the extra lights on at night. All right, let me get this adhesive going. There we go. Put the first piece on the outside of the Z, so that'll be your front, the first thing that people see. And then I'm going to put the other piece right here so that it has the same shaded spruce border around the outside. So let me do that. The hardest part of this particular die set, they're all beautiful. They're actually quite intricate. And so if you have one of the older black Big Shots that Stampin' Up! Used to sell, it may not be quite as tight on the roller as when it goes through. The newer Stampin' Cut Emboss machine that is white, or maybe you have the mini blue one, those are a tighter fit. And so the dies tend to come out of those a little easier when it's run through the newer, tighter machine. However, excuse me, if you'll run it back and forth several times, my ladies last night figured out, the more that they ran it through the machine, the easier that these pieces came out. All right, so we need some place to write. So we have our 2 pieces of patterned paper. We're going to open this up, and we're going to put this part where you would write your greeting on the inside. And we need to put it all the way over so it's a small border on that side, so that when the card is closed, you don't actually see your sentiment piece. I'm not going to stamp that today, but you could easily stamp Merry Christmas, whatever you'd like to say, whatever your favorite holiday greeting is. And then we have the die cut piece. Let's go ahead and attach that. And put that right in the center of the die cut. Sometimes It is just elegant to not add a whole lot of stuff to a card. Then we only want to attach this on the half of the card. So we're going to put the adhesive on the left side, but when I flip it like this, yeah, when I flip it like that, it's still the left. If I flipped it over, I would need to switch it. All right, so I'm going to glue that on there. Even with embossing, this card doesn't take that long. I did die cut a few things for my ladies last night, and they made 8 different cards, and they were all done in less than 2.5 hours. So, all right, there you have it. A fun fold. If you wanted to, you could also cut another piece of 2.5 by 4 and put it right here on this particular side. I just didn't have that cut for you today. But that's an easy way to decorate just a little bit more. So there is card number 1 for today. Just set that aside. All right. I am so bummed that I left my stamp laying on the table. If you can give me 1 second, I am going to run and get it so that I can actually finish the card. As I'm going to show you the card, you can check it out. It's kind of a fun fold, so I'm going to put the ink on the side just so it'll stay closed and you can try to figure out the fun fold. All right, I cleaned my stamps this morning and I left it laying on the table. All right, whew, now I'm out of breath. All right, so today's fun fold is, it opens like this. I don't know the name of this fold. I saw this card from Amy over at Gathering Inspiration. And I met Amy on the Norway incentive trip, so I was very excited that it was actually someone that I knew. And now I'm out of breath because I ran to the other end of my house. Whew. All right. If it's not one thing around here, it is another. All right. There's more pieces to this card, and it looks crazy fancy, but it is so easy to do. All right. Got all my pieces. So it's basically like 2 little cards. The outside piece is like this. And then the other real red piece is actually like another small card, but it's going to go the opposite way. So it looks like that. And then we have our green piece for the inside, or the back. And we'll just start putting things together. All right, but first, we have to cut our designer series paper, and this card is actually kind of like a one-sheet wonder, but the one sheet is only going to be used on this one card. So if I had used a different pattern, I could have used every single piece of it, but I changed my card plan just a little bit, so the only waste, so to speak, is going to be a 1" by 3 3/4 piece. So I have a template of what we're going to do. I have a 6 by 6 piece that I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4, and then I'm going to have 2 pieces. This one's 2 1/4, this one's 3 3/4, and I'm going to cut it at 5 inches. This is going to be the background that goes on our shaded spruce card base piece, and then this particular piece will be the strip on the front. The front of the front card flap, and then this piece, this 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 square, will be the diamond on the front. So I had this laying out on the table, and if you need a picture of this, I'm happy to post that as well. All right, so here's our 6 by 6. I'm just going to use the holly berries, and I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4. Scoot down just a little bit. I got myself all wonky here. All right, so 3 3/4 of the 2 strips. And then I'm going to cut 1 inch off of one end. It doesn't matter which end. And this particular piece, the 1 by 3 3/4, is the only one that I'm not going to use. You could, if you wanted to use the music notes across the front instead of the green, you could, but I'm not sure that that was my favorite choice. All right, so there's one piece. And then with the other 2 1/4 piece, we're going to cut that into 2 pieces as well, and it's 3 3/4 for that also. So we have a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 piece, and we have a 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 piece of designer series paper. All right. And then we start our assembling. It's a very fun looking card, and when you look at it from the front, you wouldn't expect that it opens in such a fun fold way. Okay, adhesive on the back of your designer series paper, and that will go on the shaded spruce panel. I think tomorrow, if you tune back in tomorrow, I'm going to do this same fun fold with an everyday occasion type card. So stay tuned for a different card with this fun fold, and we'll see how close that is. All right, so this goes on the piece with the flap that's like this. All right. Looks like it's the card to nowhere, but that's where that piece goes. And then when you fold it, we have our shaded spruce panel for this piece. We're going to put the adhesive on there. Get all the base pieces done first. All right. So just build those panels. My Amazon guy just brought something. I'm doing a little project for my sister that I will have to show. We are doing a puzzle advent calendar out of the Stampin' Up! Nested treat boxes, and I can't wait to show that. But the puzzle just arrived today, so my husband can assemble it and then separate it into the appropriate pieces, sections, so she can do a piece every day. Her birthday is right after Thanksgiving, and so we can give it to her at Thanksgiving, and she can make her card. All right, so this goes the same way. We're going to start with the panel, and then build from there. So here's your piece. The white piece is where you will stamp your sentiment. And it goes, I can't do things backwards when things are on the left. I have to flip it over and do it to the other side. And that, I'm sure, is because I'm right-handed and don't think that way. All right. Now, if your patterned paper matched, if you liked it, you could easily put that piece right across the middle here, but I think the brown is a little bit too bland. So I'm going to take that and set that aside, and I'm going to use the shaded spruce strip that is the same size. It's 1 by 3 3/4, and that way it just all ties together nicely. And again, as I look at this, I think, oh my goodness, this is so backward, but it is definitely exactly what we're looking for. Then, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this onto the card base. And this is the actual opening of the card. And I'm going to do it this way. And you just center it right in the middle. So I've got to turn it so I can actually see it. Sorry about that. All right, so press that down. All right, this was sitting on, oh wait, and then I'll show you what my husband said. This is gonna be a diamond right in the middle. And the 2 1/4 fits perfectly corner to corner. Well, actually it hangs off just a smidge, but just like that. So that all your pieces match. So Matt was sitting at this was sitting on my island on Sunday afternoon, I think, and he looked at it, and he was looking at this piece, and he was like, I don't know. He said, I don't think, I think it needs something. It looks a little plain. And I was like, oh, well, lucky for me, I'm not done yet. And so here's my piece on earth that I ran to the far side of the house to grab. And I'm using the modern oval punch for the sentiment today. And I'm just going to stamp the piece on earth. Quite honestly, I'm going to use cherry cobbler ink. I'm going to fess up just a smidge. I had a big event on Saturday with my stamping partner, Sarah. And I had to leave early, and I said, oh, when we're done, when you're packing things up, just put everything in a box. I'll come and get it. Not remembering, and I don't like how I stamped that, not remembering that I needed real red ink on Monday. And so I think the cherry cobbler is okay. I would probably use real red. I'm just going to flip that over, stamp it on the other side. That way I'm not wasting any paper. My P on piece was not very good. There we go. So lessons learned, do not leave things behind when you may need those for holiday cards. I didn't have any shaded spruce ink. I didn't have my real red ink. It was truly a situation that I survived, but oh my goodness, I need to go fetch my belongings. All right, so then this piece will just go right on the center. And there's a little more decoration, and no one will see the piece on earth that you messed up on the back. Just flip it right over, and when you put it down, it fits right here in the middle. You could pop that up on dimensionals if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave it flat just so that it doesn't get caught on anything when I do it. Now, the last piece, the card is all put together, but we are going to add some ribbon. And I sat down. Marcy, where did I put my ribbon? Hiding on the bed. All right. This ribbon is great to tie bows with. It's a sturdy ribbon. The only thing that's kind of difficult for me, and as you know, I'm not the greatest bow tire, is that the back is different. So you kind of have to maneuver the ribbon a little bit so that when you tie your bow, and I never know how long to cut the ribbon. So hopefully I've given myself enough room. When you tie your bow, I'm going to pull it all the way over the edge of that card. When you do it, this piece looks different. This is going to be a struggle for me, so just preparing myself to make the loops. Now this is the part, you kind of have to mess with the bow to pull it through so that the red with the gold polka dot stays on the outside. And of course I'm not going to be able to do it because people are watching me. There's probably a Nervous Nelly support group for things like this. Anybody else struggle with things like this? If you're not good at something, or you struggle and people watch and it makes it so much worse than it really is. That's how bow tying is for me. All right, so I'm going to pull on that and then see if I can't twist that bow around. If I can't, it's not the end of the world. I just prefer that it's the polka dot side out. There we go. Ta-da! And I did it. And your bow, I'm actually going to move him up toward the top just a little bit. If you wanted to put a glue dot under the bow to hold him down, you can certainly do that. I'm pulling too tight. There you go. You'll see the inside of the gold bow a little bit. Now you've watched me struggle with my bow making for today. That is today's only bow because of that reason. I'm going to trim the ends just a little bit. All right, and there you have it. Fun fold piece on earth. If you have any gold dots of any kind, you can sprinkle those around to bring out the gold in the ribbon. And just a fun card. So like I said, stay tuned for tomorrow's Lunch with Lori, and we're gonna make a different card with this same fold. So that way I kind of like the back to back, so I can show two different ways to do the same thing, but they look completely different. So let me put this over here. And then the last one, again, is no stamping. All my pieces are ready, and we're going to use the Noel this time, and we're going to make the sentiment be the star. I'm going to die cut all of the pine boughs and the sentiment piece. So the sentiment piece looks like this. I have another card here where I, instead of using the Noel, which the Noel fits perfectly. Isn't that coincidental? Probably not. I have another card that we also made last night, but I'm not going to show you fully today. But there is a sentiment piece that fits perfectly on the inside of this one as well. So you could do either one, or you could make your own greeting that you want to in here. I'll show you that one again in a second. All right, but this one's going to go vertical instead of horizontal. And I'm going to put the Noel on there. I'm going to do this first because last night we used glue, like the Tombow liquid glue, but today, to make myself a little easier and less messy while you're watching me, I put adhesive sheet. I ran the Noel out of my gold panel that I cut as the background. I cut the Noel out of that, but I put a piece of adhesive sheet right on the back so that I could punch the letters out quickly with the dies and then basically just slap them on my card. So let me get started with that. And I'm just going to start at the top. You have to make sure your N is definitely directional. You want to make sure that your N's going the right way. I did not make that mistake, so that's good. But I did read that on someone else's thing and they had done it incorrectly. So it's my lesson for today, learned from someone else. Okay. And O, make sure you spell your things correctly. You don't want to give your Christmas card to Leon. All right. Although Leon deserves a fine Christmas card as well, but he probably doesn't want his name on there. And the adhesive sheet just peels right off. I had a question last night about the adhesive sheets, and someone asked if you could cut them. And I'm about to spell Noel because I'm talking and not paying attention. Oh, glad I caught that. Let's go with the E. And the adhesive sheets, you can cut those to whatever size you need. If you need a 1/2-inch strip of adhesive, by all means, you can cut the adhesive sheet. You can just cut right there. It is kind of divided into 3 sections that help make the backing easier to peel off, but you can cut it whichever direction and the backing will peel off. You could cut the square like I did. The sheets are 6 by 12, so you definitely probably don't need adhesive on the whole back of your card. All right, so there's our Noel. And I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive and attach my pine tree pieces. And they're just going to stick on the back randomly. I don't have a specific plan on where I want those, so that's why I put the adhesive on there, and then I flipped it over so I could actually see what they look like. And then the last one I'm going to put behind this section. All right, so we have our whole Noel piece. I'm not going to attach that yet, so I need to just set that aside for just a minute while we put the rest of the card together, because that's going to be our last piece. I have a shaded spruce card base, just 8.5 by 5.5. And then I put down the gold foil. If you would like to peel off the adhesive back, you can certainly do that. That would help it stick in the middle, but it's not necessary. You can just leave it as is and it will be just fine. Nobody will know that my adhesive or my Noel is upside down because that's going to be covered. Whoa, I'm about to make a mistake. You didn't stop me. This one may be different. Yep, this one's going to be different. We're going to wrap our ribbon around this piece. I should have wrapped my ribbon around that gold for actually. We'll try this again. I've got another one. We're going to put that's why I call it the magic of TV, because there's always an extra one lurking in the background to be able to save you when you make a mistake. There we go. The other one will just be a different card. All right, so we're going to take the ribbon again, the gold with the red, or the red with the gold polka dots, and we're going to tie a bow. I'm going to tie it a little bit low because we don't want it to be in the way of the other palm. Oh my, that's where my mind is. I would love to be at the beach right now. But that's not an unusual thing. Tie our bow. Just a plain bow. If you want to knot, you can absolutely knot it. You can make it flat and wrap it across. And that may be what I do with my other one. Fiddle with it. Like I said, this is kind of a thicker ribbon, but it's a very nice ribbon. That's right, except Sarah would tell me that this bow is upside down, but I'm okay with that because the handles come off the side. So to fix that, I'm just going to scoot it around, scoot it over, and then move it down so that the legs of the bow, I'm not sure if those called legs, these little things that stick off. That's what I'm going to call them. The legs of the bow are sticking down instead of up, so that way I don't get yelled at because my bow was upside down. I'm just going to be grateful that it was tied and on there. There we go. My legs are a little long, and we can trim those off when we're done. Okay, then we have our Noel piece, and because we have the distress tile background, the other background that I could have used was the melody one, the melody embossing folder, but I decided to just go ahead and do a distress tile, so it was a little bit different, a little more muted than the music notes. All right, so I have my 3 pieces. So we have our word on the front. Now I think I'm going to use dimensionals on the back of this piece as well, just so that that ribbon doesn't keep it from popping off. I think if you have enough adhesive on the back, it will be okay. But I think for today, I'm going to use all these extra pieces of dimensionals that are laying around. All right, I'm going to get all of this edge piece done so that I don't waste any dimensionals. All right, I'm going to put that on the back. I hope that you've enjoyed my Christmas card series. It's been fun. It's been a challenge for me. I've chosen 4 different suites to use. I haven't used all the suites that I would like to because there's so many. There's so many beautiful suites in the catalog that it's hard to choose. Oop. So if you've watched all 4, let me know which one was your favorite. We did The Joy of Christmas. We did, I believe, Merry and Bright. What else did we do? We did the Very Cute Christmas. Which one was your favorite? Okay, now this is a dark colored card, so we need to put a piece on the inside. And if you wanted to stamp Merry Christmas, if you want to stamp Season's Greetings on the inside of your card, here's your chance. You could also stamp some of the pine boughs. There's a pine bough stamp in the Christmas classics. But unfortunately, I cannot because, yes, you guessed it, my Shaded Spruce ink pad is in the box at Sarah's school. So mine's going to stay blank for right now. And there you have it, card number 3. Let me trim this. I do like that ribbon. Ta-da! So here are my 3 cards that I showed you today. The Noel, the Peace on Earth, and Deck the Halls. These are our three projects from today. If you place a $35 order on my website, you will receive one of each of these cards. If you place a $50 order, I will send you a surprise embellishment. I have several embellishments that I'm thinking, and I can't decide which one I want to do, so I may order a few of each, and it will be a surprise whichever one you receive. Right now, today through Thursday, Stampin' Up! Is having their seasonal sale, which is awesome, and it is items from the annual catalog, and it is a lot of things. But my number one thing is the cardstock. Every package of cardstock is 20% off. So instead of being $10 a package, it is $8 today, tomorrow, and Thursday. And I highly suggest that you act quickly. I tried to order some Cherry Cobbler cardstock this morning, and it was already out of stock. So make sure that you get on this quickly, because you never know what's going to go away. Also, the ink pads are on sale. Ink pads, I believe, are 15% off, not 20. The 10 packs, or the markers, the Color Family markers, are on sale. All of the things on page 126, all of the paper, the thick cardstock, the treat bags, envelopes, all of these things are on sale as well. The specialty paper, well, I'm not sure that the specialty paper is on sale. I'd have to double check that. The designer series paper, all the designer series paper in the big book is on sale. There's so many things right now. And then the ribbons and the trims, every ribbon from the annual catalog is on sale, and the ribbon is 10% off. And I will tell you that with the paper that I just used, the Real Red and Garden Green combo pack is perfect with it as well. Matches quite nicely. And then all of the trims are on sale. So it is a great sale. Anything from 10 to 20% off, but cardstock at 20% off is hard to pass up. And then let me show you yeah, maybe I won't show you the last card from my card club. If you have, all right, so I won't show you my other card club card again. You'll just have to pretend like you remember what it looks like. But my Card-Cierge Card Club for December will be Light the Sky, and it'll be the fireworks bundle, which is super cute, and it is sticking around, so you'll be able to get that and use it for the 4th of July as well when it's still available. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that, like I said, you've enjoyed my card class series, the Christmas cards. Look for a new series coming fairly soon. We'll see what happens next. If you have any requests, please don't hesitate to message me or send me a text, a message, a note, and let me know what kind of cards you'd like to see. I want to make sure that I show things that make my viewers happy. So anyway, have a great rest of your Tuesday. If you have opportunity, on Wednesdays at 11:30 Central Time, I'm back here for Lunch with Lori, and I show a different product each week for that. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks.